Actually, yeah, fuck it. I'll go with the glasses too. It's late. I'm gonna go grab them right there. You keep the people entertained for a sec.
Yeah, we'll do. Yo. What's up, guys? Hold on one second. I'm just updating the description of this on my YouTube real quick.
Let's get it. What's up, everyone? Cool. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. What's up? So we'll be on for 45 minutes or so. Any questions you guys have, please feel free to fire away. We'd love to chop it up on that. What up, Patty? What up, Colby? Michael, good to see you. Dawes, Brock, Kyle, Armand, always showing love right there. It's a beautiful thing.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Let's see here. Let's see if I recognize anybody. Is this primarily your Discord, Miles, that you blasted this out to?
Yeah. So Discord, and then in general, kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna retweet your tweet too. I'm a
nice
right there. But yeah, how do you send products online straight to the Amazon warehouse? You typically don't, unless you have a specific relationship with a supplier. Which, if you're new, you probably don't as well on that. All right, we got the boy tuning in. Okay.
So we got a question already. What's up, Jimmy? We got a question already. How does selling hazmat / dangerous goods work with FBM? Can I ship myself without being enrolled in the program? Thanks in advance. Yeah, so you can. So to sell hazmat FBM, you don't need to be in the program. It's just to sell it FBA. To be able to ship it to one of Amazon's fulfillment centers, you do need to be enrolled in the program. So FBM, no problem.
Fuck, I didn't even know that, honestly.
Sales rank respecters in the house.
Cool. How do you go about invoicing on group lives when the supplier only sends one invoice? See, now that's an interesting question. What are we doing in that case?
Yeah, so I've answered that a few times before, but typically, so the supplier will invoice one person, and then that one person would turn around and invoice each of the other buyers. So, I mean, in that case, the other buyers, I mean, they're kind of screwed. Like if Amazon asks for an invoice, they're not going to really honor like that random seller's company's invoice. So it's kind of a risk that you take. But I mean, in some cases, it's worth the risk. So you just got to.
I mean, if you're on good terms with a supplier, I'm sure they would make another.
Yeah. Some of them will. Some of them totally will. But I mean, there's some like if you're working with one for the first time, I definitely wouldn't hassle them for that. But yeah, it all depends on the relationship for sure.
And the nice thing too is there's like such a small chance you get an inauthentic. Like honestly, a lot of the stuff is like kind of the risk. Honestly, I mean, unless you're buying like thousands of units or something, right? Because like my inauthentic complaint rate is like it's like 1 in 2,000 or so. Basically, so you have to be buying like a shit ton of them, basically. So
yeah.
Oops, my bad. Okay. Right there. Cool. I know an LLC is not required. Would you recommend setting one up in the early stages? Yeah, Colby. So we're not lawyers, but we all did that. It's obviously completely up to you. I want you to do your own research on there as well. What is the featured offer percent on Seller Central? I don't did they change that from buy box? I think they did, right?
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure the featured offer is buy box percentage now. Let me double check that real quick, but I'm almost positive that's the case. Curious, what is your featured offer percentage?
Like 3 to 10, depending on how pumping I am.
Nice.
Yeah. What's yours?
Right now we're at 19%. It says 30 days ago we're at 30%.
That's that wholesale buy box share when you're not competing with anyone.
Well, with Seller Snap too, and also just like some exclusive listings as well.
Oh, true. Yeah. So like even one of those helps out a shit ton. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Love seeing the content. Appreciate you. Best way to FBA prep luggage, small carry-on? Dude, I'm honestly not sure at all. Whatever Amazon requires, but I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I mean, chances are it's just classified as oversized, probably like small oversized. And so just follow the prep requirements. It's either going to be just an F and SKU. It's definitely just going to be an F and SKU. I mean, it's obviously not going to be like polybag, bubble wrap, anything like that. So it'll get split up. If you're sending a bunch of them in, they'll get split up to different FCs if they're oversized. So just keep that in mind. So when going through a catalog from a supplier with almost 17,000 SKUs, do you use the software? Do you have one of your VAs go through it manually and send you what they find? So for the longest time, we were using a UPC scanning software. We were using analyzer.tools. But about a month, maybe 2 months ago, we actually canceled our subscription entirely. So we no longer use a scanning tool at all. We're 100% manual, and yeah, so the VAs will comb the list and then pretty much make a short list of what they find.
When should I be worried about PL issues? When you can see that historically that product's been very, very competition, and when you look and see that the person in the buy box or consistently in the buy box is that brand. How do write-offs work? That's a CPA question, my man. Probably recommend watching some content from someone who's licensed to give advice on that kind of stuff. Most sold category on Amazon. It's a very, very good question. I'm not sure at all.
I think the biggest category, just by like ASIN count, I think is home and kitchen, maybe, or maybe it's
I
clothing.
remember Chris said that. I think it's either home and kitchen or clothing. Yeah. I've done 30K in sales and gotten 1 review. Don't worry about the reviews at all. That actually sounds like a pretty good assessment in terms of like the averages. It'll be like 1 review for every like 10 to 50K in sales, depending on your average sale price. It'll come with time, man. Just keep selling items, keep making customers happy, and you'll get reviews. They don't really matter much though. Corey, big fan. So Corey, can you tell us about the wholesale as well?
Yeah, definitely. So for anybody that's not familiar or hasn't heard about it yet, so the Wholesale Challenge is going to be our live 7-day training on how to start, scale, and manage a fully remote 7-figure wholesale business. So it's pretty much going to be 2 hours of live training with me every night. There's going to be Q&A. There's like over $3,000 worth of bonuses already included that you get as soon as you sign up. So it's really going to be like spilling all my secrets, the A to Z of the wholesale business. And it's going to be taking place July 10th to July 17th. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, go to wholesalechallenge.com. That's where all the info is. And if you want a discount, if you end up signing up and you want a discount, you can use Miles' code, which is Miles100, and that's going to get you $100 off the challenge. That's going to save you about 20%.
So is the buy box guaranteed to rotate? So no. However, luckily you can check prior to selling an item if the buy box does rotate. By the way, yeah, for anyone who does buy the wholesale challenge, if you use the link in the coupon code in the description and you email me using the email that's in the description, I will send you some OA leads right there. Seller
some bonuses.
So yeah, Seller Amp's going to give you a lot more data and be more cost effective right there. So if I order 150 toasters from the next deal, I have to send them straight to my house. Either there or a prep center, Dustin. Yeah, but you're not going to buy 150 toasters right off the bat, right there. So, I mean, reviews, it builds credibility. It can help you get wholesale relationships. Definitely doesn't hurt. It's going to help you get more buy box. Not a ton though, right there. So, it's definitely not going to hurt, but it doesn't add a ton of value. It definitely doesn't hurt though.
I honestly do think that having a lot of reviews does help with buy box rotation.
For sure.
I mean, for example, there's some listings that I literally sold the product to Billy and then to David Jacobs, who both their accounts are a lot newer than mine and they have much smaller amount of reviews than me. And I was dominating the buy box the vast majority of the time. I think part of that was because I had a lot more stock than them, but I do think that my review count and the fact that they're mainly positive reviews does contribute to that. And like account age, and there's a lot of stuff that I think there's a lot of just like under the radar stuff that you wouldn't think about that does probably factor into your buy box.
And now it doesn't help you to worry about that though, because you can't really though. You know?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So like
it's not something I'd be concerned about. And I definitely wouldn't use it as an excuse to like not buy something, especially if you look at the Keepa, you see the buy boxes rotating, you're getting a good price that you've got room to work with. I wouldn't be worried about that.
Are those glasses prescription? Nah, we're just trying to avoid that toxic blue light, family.
Mine are prescription blue light.
Yeah, get closer to the camera, family. You're a little out of
I know. It's like blurred. It wasn't.
Wait. Yeah, refocus that or unblur it altogether, right? Like.
Yeah, I just tried that. It didn't do anything.
Yes, sir, Gym Body. Gym Body got the ugly ones going. He got like the private label, the one review seller one.
That is true. I got them on clearance for like $1 off Amazon because it was a new listing. They were trying to promote it, get sales.
Bro, that's what we should launch a private label glasses brand. Yeah. Tell Jimmy to make a move in chess. You're running chess with Grant, Jimmy?
Yeah.
That's a vibe. Jimmy used to bust my ass in chess during Q4. I didn't know about the email me anyway. I got you on some leads, family. Just drop an email. What up, Ivan? Appreciate you. Sadiq, appreciate you. How do you handle inventory that's listed as researching? You let it be because it's typically in FC transfers. So it's going to be available soon for your camera.
Which Ivan is that?
Facts. I'm not sure. Right there. My bad on Instagram. Could you possibly go through what to look for on Keepa? Absolutely. So The nice part is I do have a 45-minute Keepa tutorial on YouTube. I really, really recommend you take a look at that. It's one of my most popular videos of the year so far. But price stability, competition either stable or going down. You don't want price going up, or competition going up. You don't really want price going down unless your ROI is really high. And then a good and stable sales rank of sub 100,000.
Yeah, hold on. This guy, he's asked us a couple times. So how old do you have to be to start FBA? And when you make an account, would you need to do an interview? So I believe technically you need to be 18 years old to have an Amazon seller account. I do know people that are younger than that just have their parents open up an account and they just sell under that account. But as far as the interview, so I think that was something they were doing for some sellers. I don't know if it was on international sellers or if it was just kind of at random. But I don't think you would. And if you do, just have your mom and dad do it.
Yeah. Salary cap for a really faithful and solid VA. No salary cap, whatever they want, man. If they're really good and faithful, they're making a bunch of money. You want it to be a major win-win for both of you guys. So definitely no salary cap. Although I think not including profit share, very, very good addition to that question. It's so situationally dependent. You know what I mean? Like you really want to take care of them because a good VA is worth their weight in gold. Hey, would the wholesale challenge be good for people just getting started with Amazon FBA selling? Absolutely. Right there. If you want to do wholesale, right now, if you want to do online arbitrage, probably best to not start with that for now. But if you want to do wholesale, for sure. And just over time, you want to aggregate knowledge and then take a shit ton of action on it, basically. And you're definitely not gonna make less money by having access to Corey, their community, etc. Basically, right there. Hey, how many VAs do you have? I got 3 currently. And I think I'm going to get a 4th for editing too, like another video editor, because I want to crank the content scale to the moon. Yeah.
So the 3 that you have now, what are they? All 3 Amazon or any of
product research, and then 2 for content, 1 long form, 1 short form. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I had another short form one at a certain point, but I wasn't pumping volume like I need to right now.
Is that guy the clip curator? Is he doing some of your short
forms? No, I mean he's not a VA. That's like my point, but yeah.
Well, I know that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
you're doing a lot of your short form stuff.
Yes, dude. So if you want, when you come down here, if you do, we can shoot with them. You can come with me. And
Grant's in the chat. He would be livid.
Oh, well, that'd be a vibe too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing though. It's like in person's a different vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like. Just or a chance to go on Discord too. Oh, we got a young buck in here. Yeah, homie wants Discord. Are we going boomer?
We're just gonna stick with Facebook. Yeah. So it's gonna be held in Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, you need to get on Facebook. All the lives are gonna take place in the group. All the bonuses are already in the group. So I've had some guys that have signed up, they paid, but they don't have a Facebook, so they don't have any of the bonuses. So they can access those right away. I did see somebody ask, so if they've already paid full price, you can still get the $100 off. Email support@oachallenge.com and just let them know that you signed up, you paid full price, and that you want to use Miles as code specifically, and we'll get that $100 refund applied.
That's very honorable of you. I tried to hire a dude. Crypto Butthead's fucking hilarious. He was in my replies on Twitter a lot recently. How do you go about reverse selling a sales rep through a distributor? So human trafficking is not good. You don't want to be doing that. But I see going through a price list, right? It's like, what's the typical protocol for that, boys?
So he's saying, reverse selling a sales rep through a distributor?
You know what I mean? Like reverse sourcing a price list or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, you would start with ideally the price list would have a list of brand, you'd be able to sort by brand, right? Like ideally you'd be able to get a list of the brands. And so at that point you'd either, best case, you'd have Smart Scout and you would go into Smart Scout, you'd look up the brand and you would filter, or you would sort to only show products from that brand. And then you would input the filters that you'd want to use, or I guess filter to see the products you want to see, right? Either set a sales rank filter, a number of sellers filter. You can set a lot of different filters to get a short list of products from that brand that you might be interested in. Once you have that short list of products, then you go back to your price list. You see if any of those products are on that price list. And if so, are they profitable? If not, ask for a discount with a much bigger quantity. If they are, then you can place the order. And if they're not on the price list at all, if you found good products on Amazon that for some reason aren't on your list, well, then you can ask your supplier if you can special order them, which means they just order them straight from the manufacturer. It might just take like 2 or 3 weeks.
Vibes. How do you deal with an expired product complaint? That's a good question. I'm really not sure. I doubt there's much.
Yeah. So we actually gotten a couple recently for one product of ours that it was past the date, so we were at fault there. But if you're positive that the product was not expired, you're gonna have to submit some sort of proof. So you can reference either, I believe, when you create your shipments, right? You have to input the expiration date. So if Amazon like did a random bin check and they like pretty much mark that product as expired, but you know it wasn't, then you've got to open a case. You've got to let them know, and you've got to show them the documentation that you have to prove that. My guess is you probably don't have that documentation. We don't keep that documentation, but like we have a good enough relationship with our suppliers to where if they do say something's expired and we know it isn't, our supplier will just send us an invoice or any sort of proof that we need to kind of get that cleared up.
What are Amazon to Amazon flips, and have you done it? A little bit, and it's when you buy a product on Amazon to flip on Amazon. Typically, when Amazon is selling that product themselves, right, and they're going in and out of stock, or they have a very low stock count, and you can see historically when Amazon's out of stock, the price goes to the moon. Basically, just starting out, what software will I need? I only know of Keepa and SellerAmp so far, so that's what you're going to need to get going. Eventually, you are going to add a repricer and stuff like that, basically. But Keepa and SellerAmp is where you're going to start. Watch a bunch of product research videos on YouTube. Watch Corey's, watch mine, Fields of Profit, Garrett Gorell, all at Amazon, all that kind of stuff, and get a good sense of how they work, and you'll be ready to start finding your own products as well, my man. Any NJ sellers? Yeah, tons of New Jersey sellers. Yeah, I know a bunch from Twitter, actually. Florida weather is amazing.
There's probably more sellers in Jersey than there is in any other state in the country. Jersey,
yeah, it's the best state. Yeah, it's the best state because it has sales tax advantage for OA and then NYC wholesale distribution for wholesale. Yeah. Sorry, dudes, I'm just getting the store. I need to blow up. Yeah, bro, get after it, Patty. Get after it, man. How to train them? Do you expect take the challenge, try to get that going if got capital? Interesting question.
Corey, I saw on the website you'll teach on how to get BAs successfully, how to train them and stuff. Do you expect us, people that will take the challenge, try to get that going? So, I mean, if you're asking, do I expect you to have that going before the challenge? No. So that's the point of the challenge, is to teach you how to get that going. It's not something I expect you guys to implement immediately after the challenge either. You're going to get a 21-day action plan the day that we finish the challenge. It's going to tell you the exact steps to take over the next 3 weeks to set you up for success. And I'll be honest, getting a VA is not one of them, because that's something that should be much later on in your journey once you have the foundation set.
How do we find them on Twitter? The New Jersey sellers. You have a Twitter account with which in your bio says you're from New Jersey, and you consistently post about Amazon and engage with other sellers in the community. Biggest tip to source a product for a new Amazon FBA seller is definitely understand that very few products are going to be profitable at full retail, and you're going to have to use coupons and sales to make them cheaper to where they are profitable. It just got here. What's the challenge? So yeah, for those of you who might not be familiar, Corey, walk us through the wholesale challenge, as well as welcome Garrett to the fix as well. We were gonna kick him, but he put his glasses on, had to make sure and everything.
Yeah, this is glasses gang only. But so as far as the challenge, yeah. So anybody that just joined or that anybody that's not aware, so the challenge, it's called the Wholesale Challenge. It's our 7-day live training. We're going to teach you how to start, scale, and manage a fully remote 7-figure wholesale business. So if you're interested, check it out, wholesalechallenge.com. It's going to be held July 10th through July 17th. And like I said earlier, if you're interested in signing up, want a discount, use Miles' code, Miles100, $100 off.
Yep. And if you do that and you email me at the link in the description, I will send you some OA leads as well. Do you jump on a listing Amazon's on? Personally, not a ton. But if they're sharing the buy box a lot, which you can check via looking in the buy box statistics on Keepa, you'll see that. How do you get cheaper shipping? Need more context around whether you mean for FBA or FBM, because it's going to be very difficult to compete with rates.
Hold on, Miles, but going back to that previous one, the important thing to note there is quantifying the amount that Amazon is sharing, right? If we're looking at a couple different scenarios, if Amazon's sharing 20% of a product's buy box, right, but that listing is only selling 100 times, well, then that 20% is only 20 sales. On another scenario, if Amazon's sharing maybe 5% of the buy box, but that listing is moving 10,000 times, we can do the quick math. 5% of 10,000, I don't know what it is, but it's a bigger number, right? And so it's
$500, Garrett.
Yeah. It's quantifying the amount of sales that equates to the percentage that Amazon is sharing, and B, and more importantly, what's the competition level for that percentage, right? Because keeping the same comparison going, if Amazon's sharing 20% and those are 60 equates to 60 sales, but there's 60 sellers competing for those 60 sales, it's probably a negative scenario. But in the other one, if there's maybe 2 sellers competing for the 5% or whatever the other scenario was, it's a whole lot different of a scenario.
Pretty well said, man.
Yeah, you definitely got to read into it a little bit. For sure.
Okay, my boy Ivan clarified on the question, so let's spit on it, boys.
I'm sorry I didn't explain it well. I'm trying to get a sales rep to a distributor to look at customers he already has to see what's selling already, or is that not good to do? So it sounds like you're asking him to do the work and saying, hey, sales rep, tell me what your best sellers are so that I don't have to do the legwork, and then I can just kind of pick through those. And so, I mean, that wouldn't work. Even if your rep was willing to do that, it still wouldn't be a good idea because your rep has no experience with Amazon. Just because a product is his best seller to his retail customers, I mean, chances are it probably sells well on Amazon, but the best sellers in retail are not going to be the best sellers on Amazon. So I don't think that's a good strategy to take. I would instead, if I were you, I would see what brands do they carry. I would choose 3 of those brands, and I would find 2 to 3 products from each of those brands on Amazon that are already selling well, that if you knew you could get good pricing, you would be willing to buy them. So bring that list of products to him and then make him go and get you good pricing. That's kind of how you want to approach it.
Is it possible for a brand to be on a listing on the buy box? Absolutely. How much is your coaching program? So we don't necessarily discuss that here just because I wouldn't want to offer you if you weren't qualified, right? I got a shit ton of free content. These guys all do too, for you to go through if it's not the right situation. But if you are interested in applying for that, you can go to the link in the description or FulshamMilesCoaching.com. Right there. Is it better to execute on one niche or be selling in multiple different categories? Right there. I'd say it's kind of up to you. If you have a specific interest, for example, I've always liked basketball. So when I was new, it made it really easy for me to find a bunch of shoe and clothing items, right? And I've kind of stuck with that since. But the further you get into the community, the further you build friends and stuff, opportunity is going to find you all over. And so you don't want to say no to that stuff. Right there. So I'd say for the most part, keep an open mind. But the majority of your money is going to be made from a certain area, whether that's a certain supplier, a certain group of suppliers, a certain type of product, etc.
And I would say to add to that, it's even more beneficial to hone in on a specific niche or category with wholesale more so than OA, right? Because if you think about the positioning you go through when you're talking with these sales reps, you can start to bounce brands off of each other, right? If I'm reaching out to a brand in the automotive space, well, don't you think it'd be valuable to say, to name drop the 3 or 4 other competitors that you are already buying for in talks with that first sales rep, or maybe some of the products that you've already sold in that specific niche? It shows you have more longevity, shows you have more stability, shows that you have more expertise and are a lot more of a valuable potential partner than someone who it just approaches them. Oh, I'm an Amazon seller, want to buy your stuff, listed on Amazon. Can we do business? It's all about positioning, and that's one way to increase and improve your positioning.
Yeah, this whole thing's entirely about positioning, right? The people that position themselves around other sellers, they find opportunity a lot easier than people who don't, right? The people who position themselves to get wholesale supplies, whether that's doing daily outreach, etc., or talking to a bunch of other people doing wholesale, etc., group buys. Like, it's all about positioning. Like, for example, Jonathan right here, absolute legend. Always in my coaching program, 10K sales first 3 weeks, basically is in the group chat every day. Is that all the coaching calls? Is talking to me, asking questions all day, and he's getting results because he's playing the game on easy mode, right? Some of you guys watching are right now, you've never talked to another Amazon seller, right? So you have to work a lot harder to find your opportunity compared to those, people like us who we've been doing a little bit longer. We're working together on stuff. So, we get it a lot easier. The nice thing is you can do that infrastructure on your own as well.
Well, and the cool thing about just like the interaction and the networking with the other sellers is it doesn't take like hours of your time each day. I mean, if you could just set, and this is something I do. I mean, I set aside 15, 20 minutes every morning to go through, pretty much scroll through Twitter and just interact with people, like reply to DMs, reply to mentions, just 15 minutes straight, uninterrupted. And that's all it takes. And then, especially if you're newer, it doesn't even take that long. So there's really no excuse to get started. And like I said, it doesn't take hours every day. It's just 10, 15, 20 minutes, but every day for weeks, months, years.
But it also can, right? There's no potential ceiling for the ups or for like the growth that you can see. I mean, Miles and I talk about it all the time. Back in the day when we started, we're on Zoom for 2-3 hours every single night.
Every day. And that's why it worked so much quicker, because we were working harder and we were working together. Most of you guys aren't putting in anywhere close to the effort required, and you're doing it the hardest way possible because you're doing it on your own. How do I get my stuff to Amazon now? Everything but this. You ship it there. You label it, you ship it there, basically. I just watch a YouTube video and kind of see the process. Be able to talk to you so we can hop on calls. Yes, sir. That's the way to do it.
So somebody said, sorry, real quick. Somebody said some listings require approval, even though I'm selling the brand on many other listings. How is that possible? Yeah. So there are plenty of scenarios where you'll be gated at the ASIN level and not at the brand level. So for example, there's some Gillette products that we can sell. There's other Gillette ASINs that not only can we not sell them, we're restricted. We can't even apply. So like I said, you can be gated at the ASIN level, not just the brand level.
Check the ASIN before you buy it too.
Yes.
I made that mistake and it's awful.
Well,
Don't do
and
it.
that's something that like we're kind of good about that in the past, but recently we've made it a policy to where every time we're buying a new ASIN, like if there's even a remote chance it's Hazmat, or if we think there might be any issue whatsoever, we test list it. Not only do we test list it as FBA, we'll go through and try to add it to a shipment, get it all the way to the prepare to send to Amazon screen to confirm that we won't have any issues. And even then you might still have issues, because Jimmy, I'm sure you probably did that with those headsets, because I know Billy and Warner both did that with the headsets. They test listed it, test shipped it, everything, and then literally somehow got gated in transit to FBA. Billy already sent his units to Amazon and got gated in transit. So I don't know how that happened, but that goes to show that you can never truly be 100% safe.
Which headsets are you talking? I never bought headsets.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I thought, okay. I'm thinking of different ones. But yeah, there was this product that Billy and Warner both sent into Amazon. Both of them got gated in transit. I thought that Billy had talked to you about that at one point. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so we're not able to give tax advice. So I'm not going to give you tax advice, but you can go to the other people on YouTube who do free live streams all the time, and watch their stuff. No one's forcing you to be here, man.
I do find, I guess he's saying, how do I find people to network with and share leads? What's the process there? Twitter's the best place. there's so many, there's a large Amazon seller community on Twitter.
You exist on social media, ideally not anonymously, but you just exist. You document what you're doing and you exist.
I have to check the ASIN on the Amazon app only, right? I'm doing RA. There's what's the app that people use for RA these days? Is it Scoutify? Scoutify 2?
Scout IQ.
Seller app.
Oh yeah, I guess you can use Seller.
What are we
for books, right?
What are we doing? Oh, for books. Oh yes.
Well, I wasn't sure if he was talking about. Yeah. Oh, I guess he says all right. He says all right. Okay. Do I have to start wearing glasses to do 7 figures? Yes, it's a requirement.
Wear glasses and Celsius a day. That's the entry point to 7 figures. If you're Celsius a day makes you A, smarter, and B, a lot more wealthier. It's a guarantee. That's proven. It says it on the can.
How many do you have a day? Do you have one a day, Garrett?
Oh yeah, I don't drink. Yeah, no, just one.
Yeah.
This one dude was left this really long comment about how Celsius should be illegal for how much caffeine it is.
That's 250 milligrams.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's a ton. I kind of assume it's a ton, but I'm not sure.
That's kind of a lot. Yeah.
It depends on how much caffeine you have normally.
What's the main thing that separates a 10K a month seller from an 100K a month seller? What Amazon sellers they talk to on a day-to-day basis. Most 10K a month sellers don't talk to any. Most 100K a month sellers talk to people all day. I'm curious.
The other thing is, and unfortunately, this is kind of just the inevitable nature of the business is capital, right? You can teach someone to be the best sourcer, but if they don't have money to spend, they're not going to realize at the same speed, right? So it's all the things that Miles talked about, but at the nuts and bolts of it, it's A, can you require capital to spend, or B, do you have money to spend?
And the other thing to add to that too, so a lot of times the 100K a month seller is doing the same things that the 10K a month seller is doing. They're just doing more of it, and they've been doing it longer and they've been doing it more consistently. And that's
the cool thing about this business is, right? the difference between like a $7 million seller and a $700,000 seller is not as drastic as you think, right? One just buys a little bit more, but the data doesn't change. The fundamental skill of what this business will ever be made up of is looking at a product and determining if it's a yes or no decision based off of that data. The data doesn't change. You can be making a $150,000 PO or a $2,500 PO. The data does not change. And that's the really cool thing about scaling within this business.
Yep.
One. Yeah, I won't have caffeine like twice this month, I think. Yeah.
Are you serious? I cannot function without it.
Well, I don't know. Well, all right, first of all, you can't not do anything. Your grandparents lived just fine. They were going to war.
You're right. That's the right mentality. But you know what I mean.
They were also pounding cigarettes probably too. So maybe you should do that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a drug like anything else, you know.
I haven't had liquid caffeine in like 2 years.
You haven't? What? Do you have any?
That's impressive. It's very.
I've only had like a few pre-workout scoops, like here and there, and that's it.
Oh, I have pre-workout every day. Either pre-workout or coffee. It just depends.
Miles, you haven't been hooked up with the Mr. Wi-Fi special? His little.
Yesterday we were walking to play basketball, and he handed me it, and then he took a picture.
What about his little side project? Do you have any of them?
Dude, that's lit. $60K a month RA. The nice thing is that you can probably pretty easily like transfer that to OA or just take higher, better ROI stuff. Pretty much. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing that type of volume, just sneakers, you totally have the capacity to start to do other products and stuff too. So that'd be pretty easy right there.
So Fred said, before the wholesale challenge starts, is there anything we should do to prepare, like get a list of distributors together to call, etc.? So you can. I mean, if you're already operating your business and you're already doing the things required to succeed in wholesale, absolutely keep doing those. But during the challenge, so each day is going to be focused on a specific pillar of wholesale. And so one of those days is going to be finding suppliers. One of those days is going to be contacting suppliers. One of those days is going to be sourcing products. So we're going to be teaching you the ropes during the challenge. So if you already know what you're doing, though, keep doing it.
I have been approved to sell Heinz ketchup. Does that mean I can sell? I mean, not necessarily. There's going to be some probably unique ungates in there. Like we were talking about, though, always just kind of do a quick list on Amazon just to make sure you are good to go.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier too, so just because you're ungated in that one ASIN, there could be other Heinz ASINs that you are gated in. So if you're ungated at the brand level, you could still be gated at the ASIN level.
Cool.
Gabriel said, I need a caffeine detox month. Yeah, me too, honestly.
Do it. Yeah. Does that mean, yeah, typically. Cool. All right. So we'll be on for a few more minutes. So feel free to fire away any questions you guys got. How to ungate OTC, buy 10 from Walgreens and submit the invoice. Doing 25K plus a month, do you think the roadmap is a good idea now? It depends what your bottleneck is, right? And that like Warner and I both do 10x that monthly annualized basis. Like one thing you pick up could easily pay your money back. And if you come to the calls, you can ask me specific questions to the Sunday Zoom call. So I will formally guarantee you that. And if it doesn't, I will give you all your money back.
How do you goal set for the rest of the year?
No goals, just daily activities that will lead to goals that you do every day, monotonously for years. That because the average person can't stay consistent, we run them over.
It's daily habits, not activities, Miles. Daily habits.
Hey, well, I don't know.
The same thing, but like just.
I wouldn't consider writing a Twitter thread a habit, but like I guess it's definitely an activity.
Grant, more specifically, I set usually every Sunday, I just set like a couple of goals for the week, like a couple personal, a couple business. And then I try to schedule those into my week. So I make sure that I do them. And then I try to make sure those weekly goals tie back to quarterly goals, which tie back to whatever it is that I want at that time.
I just have a daily to-do list.
Yeah, Sam. Any pricing for the coach program? Yes, we don't disclose pricing just because I wouldn't want to offer you if it wasn't a good fit. We got a ton of free content and everything, but feel free to apply. You know, if you're interested in that. Ferris, get well soon. It's good banter.
How soon do you outsource prep? I think you outsource prep when you're sending in about 500 units per month FBA consistently.
Yep.
And I think doing it before that doesn't really make sense because you've got to learn the process, you've got to learn how it works, and you've got to learn how to manage your prep center. And if you haven't sent any shipments in yourself, then it's going to be hard to do that.
You got to suffer first.
Yeah.
You can't just live good.
I remember my very first FBA shipment because I started with used books. So I went to a couple thrift stores.
Everyone was there. Everyone did it.
I probably found I had like a pile of probably 15 to 20 books, and I had like these big flashcards on the ground with like acceptable, good, very good, like new, like, you know, all the used conditions. I would just like sit the books into a pile based on the condition. And I remember the first day I like went to create the shipment, and I don't think I had a Dymo. I had some sort of label printer at the time. I could not get it to work. I sat there for 3 hours trying to get this thing to print out the label, on the phone with Dymo, on the phone with Amazon. You can imagine how just much of a shit show this was. And like, I almost threw in the towel right there. Right there.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, how many people?
Your ancestors didn't quit. They felt like quitting, but they didn't fucking quit. They didn't.
I know.
How many people do you think quit after or didn't send in a second shipment after the first one? Probably like a.
I'd be willing to bet that if you get to the point where you've sent in one shipment, I bet like I'd like to see the statistic. Like if you send in one, what's the average that you send in lifetime? Like is it 100? Is it because like you know how they say in real estate, like you never met a real estate investor that's done one deal. You've either done 0 or you've done like 50. So I don't think. Yeah, I'd be curious to know.
That's interesting, dude. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of good videos if you just Google Amazon FBA prep. I think Warner has a good one.
Yeah, Warner has a good one. Reezy has a good one. Yeah. How can I get better in sourcing? Can someone teach? Absolutely. Talk to other people that are doing it and watch a bunch of free content. And answer, I do not believe that. Yeah. Opening accounts to buy wholesale. Yeah, definitely, Fred. Where do you store all your stuff for FBM? Just like some of it was like in my bedroom. I had a warehouse eventually too. But I'm not doing much of that right now.
Okay, so Fred said, any experience in opening accounts with major food distributors like Cisco, US Food, Shamrock, etc. So yeah, we used to have an account with Cisco. We had one with US Foods, and I'm sure that there are Amazon sellers that buy from them in huge volume and make money doing it. My experience was that their pricing is not conducive to an online seller. So typically like a Cisco, a US Foods, a Shamrock, their customers are going to be either massive supermarkets, or they're going to be restaurants where the restaurants are not necessarily buying those products to resell them and make a profit. They're consuming them in the performance of their service, of the dining experience. And they don't need like a huge margin, right, to resell those products because they're not. So what we found is the pricing from those huge national publicly traded distributors was very bad. And when you think about the fact that their overhead is very high as well, right? They've got a fleet of trucks. They've got millions of square feet of warehouse space across the country. They're just not going to be able to offer you the lowest prices. You're going to have the best luck from local and at the biggest regional niche distributors.
Ooh, I don't think so anymore, right? They used to have ASIN level storage limits, but not anymore. I'm surprised it's giving that.
Oh, like storage limits, or like limit to the number of ASINs you can list?
Yeah. Ooh, my bad. I'm not sure what you mean, Andres, but I don't think either. I don't think so, unless something updated recently.
How do you find a local one? By Googling. Google
Maps too. Google Maps, not just Google search, because Google Maps can have some like hidden gem results.
Yep. Cool. All right. Oh, listings. Yeah. It's not. You might be hitting your restock limits, which you can take a look at. But I would call Amazon because that shouldn't really be a thing. Cool. All right, everyone. I think we're gonna hop off. Right? Oh yeah.
Oh, I just said peace.
Oh, cool. All right, yeah. So if you are interested in the wholesale challenge and you do use the coupon code link in the description, you can email me and I'll send you some OA leads. A couple of guys actually did email me, so I'll be hooking you up on that either tomorrow or Wednesday morning. Basically, make sure you follow all my guys on social media. We appreciate you guys coming out tonight, and we will see you guys in the next one. Have a great night.
See you guys.